Welcome to the wood element practice for the 100 foundation course. Come to the front of your mat, Samasthiti. Jen's facing you to make it a bit easier, but normally you would face the front end of your mat. Vakrasana tree pose. If you can't reach the heel up towards the top of the thigh, this is a perfect starting point with the heel resting just above the ankle and onto your toes. If you feel unsteady, you can bring your hands down. If you can, bend your knee and reach, pushing the foot in with the leg and the leg in with the foot. So the two have to join to compress together to give you this tree pose. If you're steady, lifting your hands up above your head, making sure the standing leg is softened. Gently let the leg fall. And then we're going to go up onto our toes, turning out the left leg. And then again place the foot firmly at the top of the thigh. Push in with the foot, push back with the leg. If this is uncomfortable, you can go back to lowering the foot so it's resting just above the heel. Here you breathe, pushing your hands together above the head. And bring your hands down, help the foot down. And then we're just turning into our first sun salute. Nice big inhale. Exhale with a forward fold. Make sure you pull the navel up. Inhale, lengthen. If you can keep your fingertips on the floor, do. Hands on the floor, step back. Either dropping onto your knees or straight legs if you prefer. Elbows in, exhaling, and then inhaling up into a nice upward dog. Exhaling into downward dog. Breathe here. 5 breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Inhaling through the nose, bend your knees, stepping in with one foot, stepping the second foot, and then an exhale as you forward fold, softening your knees, and then an inhale as you gently help your body upwards, and then exhale, bring your hands down, focus for a moment. Second sun salute, inhale, hands up, exhale, forward fold, softening your knees, inhale, look up. Exhale, hands flat, stepping back with one foot, second foot, straight legs, or drop onto your knees if you prefer. Keep your elbows in, lower halfway down, and then inhale into upward dog, exhaling 5 breaths, downward dog. Here work on your foundation, stepping or jumping in towards the front of the mat. Exhale, forward fold, inhale, coming all the way up. Staying in downward dog if you prefer for 5 breaths. One final one, inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up. Flat hands on the floor, step back 1 foot, second foot, knees or straight legs, chaturanga, into upward dog. Exhaling, toe rolling, downward dog. Again, breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Now you're going to turn the left foot in, step forward with the right leg. With foot foundation perfectly, we're going to rise up into Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. You're bending through that front leg, feeling the traction on the floor, so almost like you're stretching the front foot from the back foot. Keep your shoulders down, make sure the head and neck aren't restricted, so the head can go slightly back and you can lift through your chest, looking up effortlessly at the thumb. So if this is uncomfortable for the neck, you keep your eyes facing forward. Here you're breathing, staying in this posture for at least 5 breaths. Turning, facing forward, nice big inhale as you lengthen upward. Forward, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide leg forward fold. Folding from the hips, drop the hands. Try and get them right below the shoulders, and then softly exhale into a forward fold, making sure your knees aren't locked back. Allow the weight to come into the toes. Now inhale and look up. Now you're going to turn out your left foot and turn back into Virabhadrasana 1 on the other side. So again, work with that foot foundation, front knee bent, back foot turned in 45 degrees. Make sure the shoulders are down away from the ears so you can comfortably lengthen the whole neck and the gaze is up at the hands. The lift comes from the chest as you lift and look up at your fingertips, making sure there's no creases in the neck. Inhaling and exhaling, checking that the hips are facing forward, back onto the side of the mat. Inhale and then exhale as you come forward, back into wide leg forward fold. Nice long stretch through the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. Allow the spine to lengthen. Inhale, come up. And then you're going to turn out your right leg and come into Warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2. Right foot points out, back foot points slightly forward, 45 degrees. Get the body into the centre, make sure you're not leaning forwards or backwards in the hands. Squeezing your shoulders together, keeping it long, and turn to look at that middle finger of that right hand. Inhaling and exhaling here. Again, pose of a warrior, really feeling this rooting foundation through, back into the transition center. Exhale and forward fold. Just really feel the length in the spine. So you can vary where the hands are. This time we're just keeping our hands here on our hips, which gives you a lovely feeling of lengthening through the spine, creating space in the spine. Inhale, come up and standing, and then you're turning out the left foot, Warrior 2 on the other side. From the feet up, again, checking that that left foot is pointing forward to the back end of the mat. Back foot pointing slightly 45 degrees. Make sure the body is in the centre. The navel, cleavage, chin all in a line. Make sure your arms are along in a straight line from each other. Drishti point, point of focus, middle finger of left hand this time. As you're breathing, inhaling and exhaling, feeling like a warrior. Really firm, rooting down into the ground. And then transitioning back up to make a change. Wide leg, forward fold position. But here now we're going to just warm up our shoulders because we're about to do some interesting stuff in a position that requires you to do quite a deep shoulder rotation. So we're inhaling, letting our thumbs come back, squeezing our shoulders, exhaling as the hands come down. Really feel the movement going from the fingertips, the wrists, the elbows, the shoulder, elbows, wrists, fingertips. And now join the hands together behind the back. If you can reverse your palms all the way up so your fingers reach. If you can't do that, you can hang on to either elbow. You can see the hands now in position. Turning out that right foot, back foot not as far apart as it was in the previous pose. A nice inhale, exhale as you come forward. And now here you're softening this front right leg to allow the rib cage to rest gently on that leg. Make sure the neck is nice and long. Find some space in that right hip and gently allow the spine to move on each inhale down that front leg. Make sure your knees aren't locked back. Try and find some space in the top of that right hip. Imagine you're looking at your body from the ceiling and you're looking to get that flat and parallel back. Inhale, coming up, keeping the hands in the position. It's not the most comfortable. Inhale, lengthen and look up. Exhale, come forward. Just resting the rib cage on that leg. Take a nice long inhale as you try to move the ribs a bit further down that leg. Pushing the palms together, making sure the knees aren't overextended or locked back. Inhaling here and exhaling. Each time you breathe in, feel the ribs moving down. Now inhale and come back up, turning all the way around to face the front end of your mat, and then bring your hands away. Give them a shake if you need to. Back at the front of the mat. Now going to take a nice big inhale and come forward, fold. Bring your hands flat, rib cage down towards bent knees. Inhale, look up, just stepping back with one foot. Now drop onto that left knee. Here we're just starting a really nice deep stretch through that left hip flexor. Hands on the floor to help you balance. And then take an inhale and just let your body feel the foundation forward and then the lengthening upwards. A nice back bend to create a bit of space again in the spine. But look how deep the hip stretch is. placing your hands on the floor. If you want to, you can grab the block behind you and place it behind that right foot. Here you're going to lift off your back knee and you're going to turn the heel so it's in contact with the floor, still in that very wide lunge position. Coming into wide side angle pose. Okay, so here, if your shoulder is uncomfortable, you can go back up to extend it and then bring it overhead. You're looking to get that perfect kind of wedge shape, feeling the energy going from the heel all the way up to the hand. And then you can turn your head, look from the armpit up to the elbow, from the elbow to the wrist, from the wrist to the fingertips. Breathe here into the back of the ribs. Inhaling and exhaling, using the foundational block behind you and the feet to feel stabilized. Drop the hand, transition, bring the block with you into the lunge first. Left leg turns out, place the block beside in preparation, the left foot. Lunge deeply into opening the other side hip flexor. Breathe here as you really stretch. Coming down again, resting the hand on the block, lifting off that back knee and turning the heel. Now open out through the body with a really good foundation and stretch the arm right overhead. If this feels uncomfortable in the arm, you can drop it down to the side and come up to that position in a semicircle. If the shoulder feels uncomfortable, make adjustment or even keep your arm resting at the side of your body. Here you inhale and exhale, making sure you're using that back arm foundation block and 2 feet really, again, feeling a rooting down into the ground. Look at those fingertips. Feel that deep stretch moving all the way down the side. Transitioning back, turning out the right foot again. This time you're going to drop onto your left knee. So here we're going to do rotated side angle pose, but modified version. So just rest into that lunge and then making sure that you're not too far away with that back leg so you've got a bit of stability. You're now going to bring this right knee gently across the center line and then with your left hand reach towards the back corner of your mat and place the elbows on the outside of that leg. Bring the hands together, palms together, and breathe here as you push down in your top hand. Going to have an in shot of this if you want to see what's happening at the end of the video. Then we're going to transition all the way around. You can just leave the block where it is, dropping onto the back knee. Again, come up first to a stretch, bring the knee across the center line, and then take that elbow across, placing the hands together gently as you inhale and exhale, holding this position. Pushing the top hand onto the bottom hand helps you find some length in the whole torso while you're pushing back into that left hip. Inhaling and exhaling here. Really important to breathe deeply into the back of those rib cages. Come round, all the way around, and then step that back foot in. Nice big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Look up at those hands. Exhale, place the thumbs on the sternum. Well done. Here, there's just a little addition because you couldn't see the other side of Jen's body when she was doing this Parivrita Parshvakonasana, so rotated side angle pose. Here you can see her elbows coming out over her knees. And she's going to do it from the other side. So you can see you come down and take the knee across slightly, and then you reach out with the opposite arm, rotate the torso, find space in your hip, and then one palm pushes on top of the other palm, and you make sure you breathe deeply into the back of your rib cage with the hand and elbows in alignment. And then finishing as usual. Thank you.